What up, what up, what up? Tapping in TV, Intelligent Ignorance. This be your boy C4 for sure. And in this one right here, we're going to talk about LeBron James not making the playoffs. Right? LeBron James missed the playoffs with the Lakers in his 19th year. So he's getting a lot of ridicule, a lot of trolling, a lot of slander. Check it out. I know how LeBron James is just such a magnet in the sports world, how everybody love to talk about him and everybody got an opinion about him and this and that and woo-woo this, woo-woo that. Right? This channel, what I'm going to talk about, why is dude got different standards than what everybody else got? Like, what makes him that dude versus everybody else to where he have to be talked about every single day, every single play, every single game? This dude is judged literally every single fucking game. Like, it's outrageous. Like, you know, on social media, on like, you know, the sports pages and all that, they got dudes that are dedicated to just slandering LeBron, making all kind of memes, putting clown faces on them, and just, it's outrageous the level of vitriol that this guy pulls from just an everyday average Joe who's sitting at home with nothing to do. He just want to type LeBron James all day, every day, another day. LeBron James this, LeBron James that. Every day, the next day, LeBron James this. Like, I just be saying, like, what makes it about LeBron James that he has consumed like 90% of these dudes' lives? It's crazy. I'm a basketball fan. Yes, Mike and Kobe is nowhere in the same breath with LeBron James when it just comes to being on the basketball court, offense and defense. LeBron James is who he is in his own right. But those were two type of basketball players. The mindset, the game. But for some reason, LeBron James just pulls that energy out of people to where they want to just slander and hate, and it's terrible. You even got guys on YouTube who made a YouTube career out of just slandering LeBron James and talking about LeBron James. So, hey, on my channel, I got the freedom to go wherever I want to go. I could toe this side, I could toe this side, or I could not give a fuck. Intelligent ignorance. And this one right here, I see it from both ways. I also see it as LeBron calls a lot of this to himself. He draw a lot of this attention to himself. And a lot of guys resent him for that. Now that's really what it is in a nutshell. LeBron bet on himself and he took his destiny in his own hands. He did things his own way. He went against the way of the tradition. See, guys are stuck in a traditional way of how things were done. LeBron James player empowerment. You know, he comes from a whole nother era. He comes from an era where these guys are in high school thinking about being bosses. But back in those other eras, those guys were in high school thinking about being employees. All Bill Russell wanted to do was be an employee. All Magic Johnson wanted to do was be an employee. All Michael Jordan wanted to do was be an employee. All these guys wanted to just be an employee. LeBron James wanted to be a boss. Now you could take that for however you want to take that, but the proof is in the pudding. The results show. He wanted to be a boss. And as a boss, you're going to take all what comes with it. That's all his criticism. That's all his scrutiny. That's all the heat. He welcomes the heat. He gets the heat. That's how it goes. I don't feel sorry for that. I'm just giving a non-biased point of view on the whole tape. You know? Now, as far as LeBron James leaving to go to Miami, you got to take the whole thing in its totality. I know this is going to be hard for a lot of people to hear, but the facts is the facts. When Boston teamed up, okay, when Danny Ainge put Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen together, I'm going to say it so you guys can comprehend. When the Boston management put that team together, yes, Kevin Garnett was old and pretty much close to being past his prime. He wasn't quite past his prime. He was close to being past his prime. Now, for you guys who are going to argue he was past his prime, well, he did okay to be past his prime, to be first team All-NBA in offense and defense, to win a Defensive Player of the Year, to be an All-Star. So if that's past his prime, he was past his prime. Ray Allen, same thing. If he was past his prime, he was definitely making all-star teams. He was making all-NBA teams. Past his prime. Paul Pierce, same thing. Making all-star teams. All-NBA teams. Finals MVP, past his prime. So you guys, you want to just overly judge LeBron for everything and not be objective and have more context behind the whole picture, right? This is from an objective basketball fan, right? What up, tapping in TV, intelligent ignorance. This be your boy C4. In this episode right here, we're going to talk about LeBron James missing the playoffs, right, with the Lakers. Now, we all know LeBron James is a pulverizing, just all those risings, just horizon, sun rising, just whatever rising, that's what he is. He talk about them every single day. You got sports media shows, dudes are getting paid millions of dollars eating well just off the LeBron James topic. LeBron James, every day, LeBron James, social media, LeBron James, everything is just, it's amazing. Dudes have built a platform, just those two words. I wonder how much money those two words have generated. Just if we could just put a count on it, just by people saying LeBron James, just those two words, LeBron James. So much money, so much controversy, so much content based off LeBron James. What makes LeBron James? Let's talk about that. Well, first, I'm going to go somewhere where a lot of you guys don't expect for me to go. And I'm going to go there. Because this is my channel, and I can say what I want to say, as long as it's within the YouTube guidelines. There's a lot of Willie Lynch syndrome going on with LeBron James. A lot of Willie Lynch syndrome going on with LeBron James. And yeah, I went there. A lot of Willie Lynch going on. I could see it. LeBron James didn't want to be an employee when he was in high school. Magic Johnson wanted to be an employee. Bill Russell wanted to be an employee. Larry Bird wanted to be an employee. Michael Jordan wanted to be an employee. Isaiah Thomas wanted to be an employee. LeBron James wanted to be a boss. He wanted to make his own moves and do his own thing. The culture he come from, it was evolving. It was evolving. We had more ownership. We had more visuals of seeing our people building, owning. And so he inspired to do that. So yes, he went against the grain and left to go to Miami. He didn't wait for his team to make their move. Now, some people say he ran away. I can say he ran away, but you know how he ran away? Because he couldn't get past Boston. When Boston got that team set up, you guys gonna say they was old and past their prime? With those old and past their prime dudes, they beat LeBron twice in the playoffs, they beat D Wade in the playoffs, and they beat Kobe in the playoffs. That's what old past their prime dudes did. So give them their credit. Don't just dismiss them to dismiss LeBron. That's what happens a lot of time. A lot of guys want to dismiss Boston's run, their team, to just make it look like LeBron. He had very good reason to leave Cleveland. If he stayed in Cleveland, the next 4 years, he wasn't going to beat that Boston team. He wasn't going to beat that Boston team if he stayed in Cleveland. So call it what you want to call it.